Hey everybody, come on in. This is a brand new show that I'm going to start doing called The Daily Burn. And what this is basically going to be is kind of like a war room for the revolution, where we just come and focus and group together, share ideas, and share information, inspire each other to move forward. So that's my idea for these little feeds. And this is the first one. I'm trying to find out if I'm successfully live. It looks like I am. All right. Well, sorry. Hey Nissa, how you doing? I was just explaining that this is a new idea for a show that I got called The Daily Burn. And what we're going to do is talk about all things Bernie and the political revolution. I figure they'll be brief. They probably won't go on for as long as my typical feeds are over an hour long. I figure these will be more brief and to the point. But I felt like it was a good way to focus and unite all of us that are working to elect Bernie Sanders as president. Not just elect Bernie Sanders as president, but move forward this political revolution. Bernie Sanders just happens to be the figurehead of the revolution. The revolution is about us, not Bernie. Bernie is who we're uniting behind at the moment, but this political revolution is so much bigger than just Bernie Sanders. But let me get into briefly why I decided to do these feeds. The reason is, especially since Joe Biden's entrance into the presidential race and the media's immediate slant and bias towards Joe Biden, it's become crystal clear that, again, we have to be the media. Now, I'm already well aware that the corrupt mainstream media cannot be trusted, but they are going to be a huge enemy moving forward, and we have to combat that. It's going to take things like this, little shows like this, to spread information, to get the truth out there, because your regular person is going to be bombarded with lies from the mainstream media. And that is just something we're going to have to face as our biggest enemy, move forward and fight against it. So I worry that we're going to blow this opportunity. We're being handed a golden opportunity. We're in a much better position than we were in 2016. Is it still an uphill battle? Absolutely. But we're in a much better position. Bernie is a household name. We're stronger as a group. I mean, there is those of us that have splintered off, but I believe a large part of them will come back. I think a large part of the people that are hurt by Bernie and hurt by what happened in 2016 and felt like Bernie should have reacted to it differently than he did, I think they'll get over that. At least I hope that they will. Um, it's going to be necessary that they do, because we can't get arrogant. You know, we laughed at the Hillary supporters when they talked about how they didn't need us, because we knew that they did. But we also need them. You see what I'm saying? You need your regular voter. You need your regular average Democrat, your regular person. We need them on board as well. And to get them on board, we are going to have to fight against the beast that is the mainstream media. The mainstream media cripples us in every aspect of our lives, but on this particular show, I'm just going to focus on how they are slanting everything to rig the election for Joe Biden. If you believe that there are any Bernie supporters that are leaving Bernie Sanders for Joe Biden, like what is being reported on the mainstream media, then you'll believe anything. You'll believe absolutely anything, because that is complete garbage, made up bullshit. The media is doing their best right now to rig this election. It'll be in stages. It's just like 2016. That's what's driving me so nuts, and what originally forced me to do this show. Because see, I feel like this is doing my part. I can't just sit on my hands. You know, I like talking. I like doing it. I can't say I don't enjoy doing it, but using my comfortability with speaking to spread the truth is really all I got, and I've got to do something. You know, I I just have my own means. I'm not wealthy or famous. I can't affect things any other way, but I can spread the truth, and I can try to help wake people up and inform people. Now, what's happening in the media right now is disgusting. You've got Joe Biden, who can, just like Hillary, barely fill up a gym with supporters, and they're describing him as the front runner. It's happening all over again. Not only are they doing that, but they're skewing the polls. You'll see poll results that show Joe Biden at 31%, but they don't tell you that they're only polling people with fucking landlines, and they're only counting results from people over the age of 50. They don't tell you any of that shit. You know, they leave out 18 to 34s because Bernie is dominating in that age range. But they don't want to tell you that. They also don't want to inform you that they're only polling people with landlines. Who the fuck has a landline? I do, but only for my answer machine. I don't ever answer the damn thing. Anyone who actually contacts me on my cell phone. But the media is going to push these rigged polls and try to skew public perception. They're already succeeding. Your average person is so brainwashed and programmed that they buy all the bullshit that they're sold from their television. That's going to be a huge obstacle to get around. You know, because just like 2016, the media will make it seem like Joe Biden actually won the primary. To your average person who's not really paying attention and is only getting the information coming from their idiot box, the media will make it look like Joe Biden actually won. They're already doing that. They're already lying to make it seem like Joe Biden is the front runner, which is complete garbage. You know, and people talk about money raised, like Biden has the biggest first day number. If you really look at the numbers, though, you've got Bernie had what, $6.1 million on his first day, Beto 6.2, and Biden, I believe, is 6.3. They're all right next to each other. But that's not the impressive figure. When the impressive figure is when you look at individual donations. When you look at that, Bernie's off the charts. Bernie's individual donations in the first day were from 228,000 people, regular people, just like me. Average donation of $27. Biden and Beto, you could fit in an auditorium their donations, their average supporters. Their each was less than 1,000. Biden's was less than 1,000. I think Beto's was around 2,000 or something like that. But individual donations, most of their money came from big corporations, big financial donations, lobbyists, things like that. It's not that hard to accumulate $6.3 billion when Comcast is in your back pocket. You see? You need to pay attention to that stuff. Not only does Joe Biden have a terrible record, but one of his biggest supporters is Comcast. And Comcast owns MSN. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? They're the group lying to you. They are his biggest supporter and biggest advocate. But I just, I want us to fully embrace the opportunity we're being given here. And I want us to understand it. And for the most part, I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of people that support Bernie Sanders or support the political revolution already understand what's going on and how important and how beautiful it actually is. I want the regular person to understand that this is an opportunity for us to take our country back. We have the potential here to achieve the numbers to enact real change if we actually realize what we have here, grab hold of it, and move forward united and take it. But that's what it's going to take. And that's what worries the shit out of me, that we're going to drop this ball, that we've been given this golden opportunity and we're going to fumble it. We're going to choke. And I hate to say that, but I have so little faith in humanity just because we've shown over time that we love to fucking choke. But I can't allow that to happen. I have to know that I did everything I could do. And I'm just one person, but I'm going to be able to sleep at the end of the day when this is all over. And we may lose. We very well may lose. But if we do, it will be because they cheated and rigged another election. And if the American people allow them to cheat and rig another election, I'm done with politics in general. I have no faith in it. There's no point to it. If we allow a second election to be rigged in this country, and yes, we allowed it. We let it happen. We let it go. And by we, I mean society as a whole, not the woke, not the people that know about it. I understand that you're mad and angry and you did everything you could. So did I. But as a whole, we allowed it. Now, that is because those that aren't aware and don't pay attention weren't there with us. We need them, which is why we have to be the media. It's important for us to realize that it's going to take more than donating. That's great. And I included a link in the description. Please do donate. And if you can't do $27, do whatever amount you can. You can donate any amount you want. You can donate $5, but donate. Every individual donation helps the numbers, and those figures will add up. And those figures will be important when we're trying to convince people of what's actually going on, because that's your important figure. That's where your real support is. Nissa says she's done with politics already. That's sad. A lot of people are. But I just want you to see that I feel like we have one fight left. This is a golden opportunity. I don't think this is the kind of opportunity that's ever going to come by again. And I'm just like you. I don't have a lot of faith. Why else would I be so worried? Why would I be begging everyone to be the media and to get the truth out there? Why would I be so consumed with it? You know? But we have to fight. Can't just lay down. I understand it's rigged. I understand all of that. And I understand that it can seem silly to vote in an election system that is rigged from the ground up. But our numbers can overwhelm that rigging. If we would just use them, if we would just stand united by the millions and move forward united and get past all the petty distractions and divisions, we could actually accomplish something. And I think we're given a chance right now that I can't watch pass by. I have to grab hold of it. And is it a huge battle? Is it even possible? Sometimes I wonder, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And it's not, like I said, I don't think it's ever going to come by again. I think if we're waiting for a better chance, I think we're going to be sadly disappointed. I think this is the best chance we're going to get. We need to get on board and fight. Even if you've lost faith, one more fight. The only other alternative is for us to rise up in the streets, to flood the streets like what you're seeing in France. By the way, look into the French yellow vest protests if you're not informed on that, because the media is not telling you anything about that either. But that's what it would take. Are we going to do that? Do you think the average American will do that? If you don't, if the answer is no, if we won't rise up by the millions and flood the streets, we have got to do this politically. This is a golden opportunity. It's as easy as it's ever going to be presented to you. Does that mean it's easy? No. It's going to take all kinds of people like me spreading the truth and volunteering, more than just donating, putting in a massive amount of effort, and then physically being there when it's important. Let's say this comes down to the convention again. Those streets need to be full of people. It needs to be a flood, a sea of people. If not, then we're going to lose. Nissa says you're right. Well, thank you. I'm in a mood. People suck. They do. They do. And that's what scares me. As a group, we suck. We suck. Our individual parts are good. It's like one of my favorite quotes from Men in Black where Will Smith is like, we could tell people. Why can't you just tell people? People are smart. Well, a person is smart, but people are stupid, dumb, panicky animals. And it's true. They're easily led. And it's just more comfortable to be that way. You can understand sometimes why they're like that. And then even the ones of them that try to inform themselves do it through the mainstream media, so they're still misled. And they think they're doing something. They're just spinning their wheels. And they're frustrating as hell to argue with. But I think we need to modify our approach and try to be more understanding of the fact that they are deeply brainwashed and indoctrinated. They're not being a dick. They believe this shit. And you got to break through that. But we have to. We have to. It's like I said, I don't think we'll get another opportunity like this. Think about what you're being presented. You're being presented with a candidate who has made himself a household name with 40 years of integrity and a solid record behind him. You have a already in place massive base, massive national base and volunteer base that was instantly reactivated. Already established. And you have a campaign that already did a stadium tour of this country from coast to coast and knows what they're doing at this point. It's all perfect. It's all lined up as neatly as it's ever going to be packaged. This is our only chance. Will it succeed? I don't know. But I know for a fact that if we don't throw everything we have behind this, get united and move forward, then it will definitely not succeed. And I would hate to see us lose such a chance. I am not going to sit still and sit idly by and watch the media and the Democratic establishment and the powers that be try to rig another election in this country. I am not going to do it. I am going to be as loud about it the entire time. I am already Bernie or bust. Bernie is the only reason I'm voting in the presidential election. Our presidents have been a puppet since Kennedy. I had no interest in who was president. The only reason I would vote before was to vote against certain people. But I didn't fully care. Bernie is the first person to give me any hope that we could actually do something positive. And if we fail, that's going to be on us too. This revolution is about us, not him. And the failure will be on us as well. I can't place blame on that man. I'm not going to. You know, even if we get to the primary and it gets rigged again and he doesn't take a stand and walk out and go, fuck the DNC, I'm going independent, you're not screwing me twice, and take his army and go forward, even if he doesn't do that, which I don't see how he couldn't. Not the second time. The first time you do the right thing. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They pull the rug out from under that man twice and he takes it. I'm going to have to walk away from Bernie. But until then, we don't need to part ways. Until then, he's my best way forward. But even if that happens, I'm not going to be mad at him because I understand it. Do you understand he's already risking his life? You know who he's up against? The true powers that be. Do you know what happens to people that speak truth to power? What has always happened to people that speak truth to power? The man is risking his life every day. He's 77 years old. He should be able to just go and be a grandpa to his grandkids. Enjoy his retirement. He's done very well for himself. He wrote a very successful book. As you well know, he is now a millionaire. He should go enjoy his life. But instead, he's risking it, literally. You understand, if they actually think that he can win, if they start seeing that he could actually pull this off, his life will literally be in danger. And you're mad at that man. If you're one of those people, you're mad at that man for not. I honestly think that they wanted blood. A lot of these people that are upset with Bernie, I honestly think they wanted blood. They wanted that man to sacrifice himself, if only his career, but his life even. And that's what you're truly up against. You have to understand that man changed in 2016 after the meeting with Obama. You understand the kind of power that really operates and really controls things. You have no idea what was said to him. I am not going to judge him. And I am going to realize that I am being handed a golden opportunity, whether I agree with that man 100% of the time, which I don't, but I am very happy with the 85 to 90% of the time that I agree with him, and you're not going to find that with any other candidate either. You understand? There are certain things that Bernie has done or does that I completely disagree with, but there is a ton that I do agree with. There is way more positives with the man than negatives. And morally, I don't see any other politician that stands up or has a record anywhere near Bernie Sanders. So you're not going to get a better opportunity. Now, the media is going to do their best to slander and make it to where it's hard to get the average person to support Bernie Sanders or to even think Bernie can win. They're going to convince them that he can't and that they need to go with Biden to stop scary old Trump. You know, you got to be terrified of Trump. You got to be so afraid of Trump. And Biden is the only way we're going to be able to stop him. They're going to convince the average person of that. And our job is to show them the truth and show them that we have to stand our ground and that your TV is a weapon used by the people who are truly in power above you, and it's being used against you, and it is lying to you. It is lying to you. That's a fact. You know, we could get deeper into how I know that's a fact, but you can see it for yourself if you just pull back the curtain. And I'd be willing to help you. That's the kind of things we're going to be doing on the Daily Burn. I want this to be a place for us to not only unite and grow the movement, but to be like kind of a therapy for each other. It's very frustrating waking people up. It's very frustrating informing people and having the same argument over and over again and the same discussions over and over and over again. But it's necessary. So this will be a way for us to come together and share ideas, share things that work, talk about things that didn't, vent, bash Joe Biden, whatever we want to do. I just feel like we needed something to unify ourselves and maybe inspire and let people know that even if you're having a tough time with it or you're having doubts, that you're not alone. And this is scaring a lot of people, and a lot of people are very worried that we're gonna miss this opportunity to fix our country. Because you know what? I'm going to be quite frank with you. If the Democrats rig the primary, I don't give a shit if Trump wins again. Do you understand? I don't feel safe voting blue no matter who. That's ridiculous. That's how we got in this mess. You're not going to scare me into voting for your establishment candidate. You're going to get the same result you got in 2016. That's another thing we need to help people understand. Yes, there is a large enough group of us that will hold our ground and will curb the election result to Trump again. It's true. It will happen again. They will lose because we will hold our ground. We did it in 2016. We'll do it again in 2020. And there's more of us every day. So choosing Biden, and we need the regular person to understand this, is actually political suicide. Not only is it going with the worst candidate, the lesser choice, your lesser evil, so to speak, but it's choosing to lose. Biden is a loser. Biden will lose. You don't need the creepy shit. That doesn't help. But you don't need that. Set that aside for a minute. Let's just talk about his terrible record. Biden's a loser. He's a corporate shill, and that won't win anymore. The DNC doesn't want to get that through their thick heads because that's where all the DNC establishment shills get all their money. And they don't want to get rid of that. They don't want those nice little bonuses they get from the healthcare lobby to go away. They don't want Medicare for all. They don't want to tax the rich. The rich are their buddies. That's where they get all their money from. That's where they have their, $75,000 a plate fundraisers with and schmooze up with. That's how they got to be so rich. You understand? Like CNN, not CNN, the Fox Town Hall. They started quizzing Bernie over, now you're a millionaire. You fall into the 1%, which just barely, by the way, but whatever. So why don't you pay those taxes? Why don't you send in that portion of your money? For one, he's willing to pay that percentage of tax on his income. And for two, why would you send him money when it doesn't exist yet, when the tax system's not in place yet? Why would you just donate extra money? That makes no sense. It's a stupid attack. And why are they trying to make him ashamed of writing a best-selling book? Yeah, he's made $1 million, but he's not like Paul Ryan. He's not worth $35, $40 million. Now, how the hell does a politician who makes $300,000 a year salary or whatever a congressman makes. Paul Ryan doesn't even make $300,000. Bernie's a senator. Paul Ryan was a congressman. How the hell is Paul Ryan worth $40-50 million? How's Nancy Pelosi worth what she's worth? You know, Bernie's small amount can be accounted for. You know, yes, he's a millionaire, but you can put the pieces together and see how he became one. It's not from having his pockets filled by lobbyists. That's what needs to be the important selling point. Yes, he's a millionaire. Yes, he falls into the 1% now. But how is that used as an argument against him? I don't understand that. Isn't success supposed to be praised? Especially honest success? At least he didn't achieve his riches the way most politicians achieve theirs. I don't shame the man for writing a book. I don't shame the man for owning 3 houses. You'll hear that shit. That he sold out. He sold out for a house. First off, Jane inherited that house. By death in the family, right around that same time. He didn't sell out for that house. That's so ridiculous. These people who believe that he's been running a 40-year con, that's the silliest shit I've ever heard. Now, I give more credence to the people who think voting is just a waste of time than I do to the people that think Bernie is a con man. That is ridiculous. And if he's running a 40-year con and he's fooling me, he's the best con artist I've ever seen in my life. So if he takes me for a few $100 and inspires me for a couple of years and inspires enough people to move forward and take back their country, okay. He's not a sheepdog. Don't try to tell me he's a sheepdog, because he's the worst sheepdog there's ever been. Yeah, I'm gonna be a sheepdog that shits on everything my party holds dear. All the big money donations and all of that. I'm gonna try to get rid of all of that. But I'm a sheepdog. I'm going to bring everyone's attention to it. I'm going to go around the country and I'm going to talk to crowds in every state across this country about how they're being dominated by the few and the billionaires are the real parasites. I'm going to tell everybody all of that, but I'm a sheepdog. I'm trying to bring people into the corporate party, not take it over. That's why I feel like a lot of these people that use that busted ass logic are just hurt. Their feelings are hurt. They're hurt. And they should be. What happened was painful. But we just need to make sure that we don't allow that to happen again. And we allowed it. It's an uncomfortable thing to come to terms with. And as I said before, I mean, we as in society, we as in the American people, all of us, not just the woke, all of us. We need all of us. And when we didn't fight back, when we didn't demand that I not stand, we allowed it. And that's all they need. To them, that's silence, and silence is consent. But I want to wrap up this episode of the Daily Burn on a high note. We need to realize that we do have a golden opportunity here. We need to treat it that way. You know how in school, the coach would give the guys a football to walk around with, and everybody had to try to take that football away from them, and you had to protect it? This is our football. We're going to score if we just protect the ball. The truth, this analogy is going fucking sideways, but the truth is the ball. And everyone's going to try to take it. The media is everyone trying to take it. They're going to try to take it, skew it, knock it out of your hands, make sure you lose it. But there's more of us than there is of them. They're more powerful. they have their fancy idiot box. It has so much power over everyone, and it's basically an altar and a shrine in people's houses, and they believe everything it says. So they have a lot of power, but there's more of us. There's more of us. And just keep chipping away. Just keep breaking through. Just keep spreading the truth, and we'll break through. But we have to get the regular people on board. We have to convince them of reality. And sometimes that's going to mean softening our approach. So I understand they're frustrating. I understand it's frustrating when people don't accept the truth and choose to ignore the past, especially when you see us getting ready to repeat it. But you got to remember, if you trigger someone's cognitive dissonance, they're not even listening to you anymore. So, baby steps. We have to wake them up, but we have to be gentle. You can't just pull the rug out. But thank you to everyone who stopped by, and thank you to everyone who supports Bernie Sanders, and thank you to everyone who's been able to donate, and anyone that's been able to volunteer. If you haven't signed up to volunteer, go to berniesanders.com, look into volunteering, see what you can do. There's all kinds of different things you can do to volunteer in the campaign to help out, including texting. If you're not the type of person that can phone bank, and you don't want to go door to door and talk to people, and you're not comfortable, you have anxiety problems or whatever the case may be, you could even text. And that's super easy. I've done that. It doesn't take hardly any time at all. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take effort on all of our parts. So do what you can, volunteer, donate, and most importantly, share the truth and be the media. Thank you guys for stopping by the Daily Burn, and we'll see you on the next episode. Keep up the fight.